Welcome back to King's Quest 3. Something I really should have done. Actually, two things I really should have done way back when I first recorded my first playing of King's Quest 1. I have not actually told you about the icons. This is walk, look, action, that means pick up or do something with it. This is talk, you've probably seen me use all of them before. This is where your active inventory item goes. And this is your inventory. And this is your options menu, which I'm going to go into to show you the second thing I should have done way back in the game. I always had a small issue with how loud the speech was because of just how I record it. And it just happened to be that towards the end of King's Quest 2, actually, it was more when I was doing the final video with the different ways for the life orb, and I kept restoring, that there's this little dial here that says speech volume. So we're just going to turn that up a little, and I'm going to leave the game speed as it is for now. I do sometimes use that to get around quicker when I'm like trying to backtrack or something, or if I have to redo something, but generally not through gameplay. But you have your save, restore, which are, save game and restore the game if you want to start again. Restart starts you over. Quit, which should be obvious. About, just giving you some basics about the game. You can see King's Quest 3 was originally created in 1986. And links to AGD Interactive's website. And they asking to try the original games and play the other games in the series. And I believe this is just more info about the, let's see, it's essentially the same button. And play takes you back. I'm not sure if the first two actually had it, but speech and text here will allow you to either, if you click that, it would do speech only, text only, or speech and text, which I've been leaving it on, so that in case you have some issue with hearing things, you can just read it as they're talking. So we're just going to leave it on speech and text. I think King's Quest 5 and 6, their voice version, does not have the text option. I'll probably find out more on that once I get to 5 and 6. From what I've heard, there is a patch for 5 that lets you do speech and text, but they have not created one for 6. So I haven't decided what to do with those two yet, whether to play the voiceless version or to try to, I don't know, use the text-only version. So we'll find out when I get to that. But for now, while we're in the pause screen, which this basically pauses the game, you'll notice up here something new that was not in the other two. I mean, you saw the points in the other games, we saw the title in the other games, but this one has a time. And what that means is this game has a few time limits on it, and one of those we'll get to see, I believe, in about 5 minutes. And eventually the time thing becomes a non-issue, but for the first bit, we'll have to deal with that pretty well. And, well, once the first action that happens with the time starts, you'll know. But anyways, we are playing as Gwydion. Here's an asshole of a cat.
This is Manannan's detestable pet.
Or asshole. And the first thing we need to do is try to... Oh, look, it's Manannan.
The old wizard looks at you menacingly.
My chamber pot is full. Empty it immediately.
Yes, we're a slave. And our first duty is to clear out the chamber pot. I believe in the original, you always got the same command at start unless you skip the intro. But in this one, you don't get your first order until now, which we will be. That's a chamber pot right there. And we have to go empty it, which is done automatically.
Wrinkling your nose in disgust, you throw the smelly contents of the chamber pot out the open window. What a way to make a living.
And there are actually 4 different chores you can do in the game. And I will probably show you each of those even, like, we'll do them while we're waiting. Because, first off, let's get this Easter egg out of the way.
You lift the bottom of the tapestry and peer behind it. The wall is filled with cracks. You can see why Manannan would hang such a tapestry here. There are also dozens of charcoal drawings, diagrams, maps, and notes to programmers with the legend of King's Quest IV. But you're uninterested in this, since you presently have your hands full with King's Quest III. You lower the tapestry and smooth out the wrinkles.
And that's exactly what it said in the original game. As of right now, there's been no remake of King's Quest IV, so that version we will only have text, and that's another thing I'm undecided on, whether I will try to voice all of the characters with some different type of voice, because I am terribly bad at trying to do other voices, especially female voices, which most of the King's Quest IV cast is. Or if I'll try to have a partner that can do female voices, whether they are actually a female or if they are, you know, a guy who can do female voices really well. And so right now we've completed our chore. The only thing we have to do is either wait for, Manannan to either give us another order or, sorry about that, or something else. Should be something else, but you'll see it soon. I'm going to do a little exploring while we're waiting for that, because we actually can't, because of the timer, the thing that we're waiting for actually is for him to either leave or go to bed. During those times, we are free to do a lot more than we are here. When he's home or awake, you cannot leave the house. I mean, you can go outside, but you can't go anywhere further than the yard, or else Manannan will either come out and punish you, or he will kill you. And there's a lot of things that he does not like you doing. But because we are Gwydion, the slave boy. But let's take a look at to the right here. You just saw Manannan's bedroom, which humorously was very, very pink in the original one. But this is Alexander's room. You can see it's a little shabby. Let's look in the mirror.
You look into the cracked mirror hanging on the wall. Your reflection shows a tall, handsome lad dressed in dirty rags.
This is our bed.
It is nothing more than a cot, hard and cold and difficult to sleep on. Your pillow is small and flat, as it is made of old rags.
Yeah, Manannan is an asshole too.
Your dresser is a piece of junk. It's full of nicks and scratches, and one drawer is completely missing.
But if we click the hand on the bed, we can sleep. I guess that passes time on. I've never actually used that feature. This hide and the retrieve function, when we start collecting items, when Manannan's gone, we will want to hide them under our bed. That's the one place he will not look. And I'll show you how you can tell which items you need to hide and which you don't. And retrieve lets you take them back when, before he returns and such. And cancel is obviously cancel. But let's go get our first safe items, since Manannan's still in the house. And I'm not sure if the music's skipping because of my computer or because of it's being supposed to. When I record the intro, it took me about 3 times going through it. The first time voices skipped, so I knew it was something with my computer, and then the next time there was only music. So I don't know in that case. But what we have here...
A tin cup has been left on the table. Mananan was not pleased to be served blackroot juice in anything other than his chalice heirloom.
Fancy ass. So we will take this little tin cup.
The perfect servant, aren't you?
And we'll look more into the inventory after we start getting certain items. I hate this cat. We will learn to hate him later. Probably.
You take the mutton chop and carry it with you.
And then we want to take all this food.
And carry it with you. You can't...
Because whenever Mananan leaves or comes back, he will want to eat.
There's no hole in this bucket. Why bother with it?
I am not even sure what that's supposed to mean, but let's do another chore while we're here, sweep the kitchen. But yeah, Mananan will always want food when he comes back or wakes up, and that will become important later in the game. We sweeped over the cat. I kind of hoped that it would be more like hitting him in the head. That cat is really, really detestable, as they said. Let's see if we can do one more chore, or maybe even both. No, I don't think we can do the second one because let me save first. Let's call this going to study because we are about to go into the study. We may get punished, we may get told to leave.
The wizard is writing at his desk. He looks up from his work and greets you with a scowl.
Boy, you know I don't like you to enter my private study, especially when I'm writing. Leave now, or I'll make you leave.
So, I guess we automatically leave. Let's go back in. No, don't go up the stairs.
The wizard is writing.
Boy, my chamber pot is full. Empty it immediately.
You know, I always thought you were kind of full of shit, Mananan. Or piss. One or both. I don't think I've ever actually had him give me 2 chores between his period of being here. So let's go empty his chamber pot again before he decides to kill us. I'm sure we'll probably die to him later. We've already seen this chore anyways, but there is a chore in his study that he will occasionally ask you to do, and that is to clean his desk. But I believe we have one time for the third chore that can be done while he's at his desk, which is to feed the chickens you may have seen in the introduction. And actually, before I feed the chickens, I'm going to show you what happens if you try to leave the property. Because, like I said, either you'll get punished or you'll die. Usually it's punishment, but occasionally it can be death. Let's see. I'm sure I'll be using that as a name later in the game. Or a saved name later in the game, but I don't believe he actually... Oh. And yes, you can fall off here. See?
The wizard gives you an evil glare.
Gwydion, you are forbidden to be here. I've a good mind to...
Mananan's face softens as he continues.
Well, maybe next time. For now, go home.
And he teleports us back to home. So you know what? Screw you, Mananan. I'm out of here. I'm so out of here. I do kind of like this game with the timer, though, because even though it pauses during scenes like... There's our death.
Watch your step.
And we kind of hear at the end, actually this happened with King's Quest 2 as well, the funny deaths always have like a little comical tone at the end. In this case, you actually hear a bit of the Inspector Gadget in there. I don't remember what the one from 2 is, but I did notice that about partway through. I'm not sure if King's Quest 1 does that as well, but we will find out. Unfortunately, we're not going to die to Manana because I don't feel like trying that again, because we'd have to go through it twice. But here's the third chore, feeding the chickens. It's just as boring as it looks, but that will also become important later in the game as not a chore, and you'll see that when it comes down to it. So now we should have about a minute before Mananan leaves. There is one more room in this house. You probably guessed from there being another stairwell up on the second floor. And Mananan can be in here, but I'm assuming he'll be in his study. I know he yells at you if he's in there when he's in there. You see, the asshole is just pounds the fly, and let's see. Oh, hello.
The lizard gives you an evil glare.
Yeah, he does occasionally check on you because he will, like I said, he will kill you if he finds certain items on you. And I'm saving before this bit because what I'm about to get is one of the banned items. Let's look at it.
It's a fly, and it's dead.
Let's take it.
You pick up the dead fly and drop it into your hand. Disgustedly, you look at it.
So, we have a fly.
You're not certain why you're carrying around something as disgusting as a dead fly.
Well, let's poke at it.
Picking off its wings, you throw the rest away.
And you may notice this is highlighted in blue as contrast to these other items. The blue ones, anything in blue highlight is an item you cannot be carrying on you if Mananan sees you, or else he will automatically kill you. There's not even any chance of punishment, you just die. So, in the time doesn't necessarily pause during, figured it did during the inventory, but probably once we're out of this scene, we'll die. Mananan should be coming around about now. Maybe when I get down here. Or maybe back even downstairs. But if all else fails, I'll just go in the study so you can see this, what happens if he catches you.
You'll create no magic around me, Quillian.
Magic? What are you talking about? We don't know magic.
Looks like you were caught red-handed.
So yes, absolutely none of the blue highlighted items around Mananan. What you can do, as I was saying before, and since it looked like we did have time to do this earlier,
Pick up the dead fly and
actually, since the fly itself is not a blue item, we'll just go back to safety. I guess he thinks we're like cleaning or something. And we will go back to our room. And yeah, I guess it does pause during scene transition. So let's pick up the wings.
picking off its wings, you throw the rest away.
Let's do what he just said. And we are going to click and click on the bed where we will
You drop
reach
your
under.
hands and knees and hide the item under your bed.
And I believe I said that is the only place Mananan will not look for the item. So anything you put in there is safe. There is one item that is blue highlighted that you do not want him to even have in that chest. And I will show you that as soon as he leaves. Kind of. Well, it depends on what I can do during the time. No, we'll see. Come on, Manana, leave. Yes, it gets really boring when you're just waiting for him. I'm guessing some of the pauses I've done have screwed up the time a bit. Look at the
You
moose.
scrutinize the moose head carefully. While it is long past its grazing days, you feel sorry for the poor old thing.
There's not really much,
There
like I
are
said.
various bottles and bowls on the shelf.
Can I take a
Pour
bowl?
the bottles in a bowl, swirl and swallow it down whole. Let the contents slosh and roll. Feel the liquid warm your soul.
Okay, that seems... Oh, look.
The wizard's glare makes you suddenly feel very, very small.
I have decided to take a journey.
Okay, and you'll notice that the time went green on us, and that means he's gone. It will turn yellow when he's close to coming back, and it will turn red when his return is imminent, and you don't want the blue items on you. But what we can do is... how do I do this? I think there's a key to his desk, or that safe over there somewhere.
You open the desk's only drawer, but you see nothing interesting.
Let's see about...
Again, you search the...
Nope. Take a look here. Oh, I know where the key's at.
You try to turn the handle, but the door is locked.
So what we're going to do is go upstairs to Manana's room, which, if he's here and he's not told you to go clean his chamber pot, he'll kill you. Or he'll yell at you, or kill you, I should say. And when, kind of like what he did in the study when we walked in the couple times. And if he's sleeping, he'll yell at you when you come in here. But what we want to do is go in here. The few items in here we want to take
Perhaps
this
in a
comb.
few years, when you've worn out that soft down... A comb, perfectly suited for the maintenance of long facial fleece.
Okay, maybe the comb isn't
A
what we
bottle
want.
with a cat's head on it. Mananan must be allergic to cats.
Wouldn't it be easier just to not have a cat?
So far, you're allergy-free. It's a lovely handheld mirror. Mananan's a vain old codger, isn't he?
We do want to
You
take the mirror.
The wizard's hand mirror. A bottle with a green leaf stopper contains some cat mint.
Cat
Your
mint?
breath smells fine. You cannot use... Presumably, these are Mananan's reading glasses. You've never seen him read. He spends most of his time watching the townspeople. Or you.
And I cannot find my spoon right now, which means I cannot have medicinal pudding. So anyways, we want to come over into this over here, the bureau, I guess it's called. And see, he has a Fantasia hat, but what's this? A black cloak?
You see a black cloak hanging in the closet.
Where have we heard about black
You
cloaks
search the
before?
pockets of the black cloak. Suddenly you discover a small brass key. What could it unlock?
And there's nothing else in there. So what you do want to make sure you do is close the doors. I was just trying to see if I can get in the drawer under. And let's search in here real quick.
A blue bottle labeled with a V. Given local topography, you're guessing it stands for vertigo. Mananan must have a little trouble with heights.
Oh, you'd think he'd,
You don't have a problem with heights. Not one you'd admit to.
let's see, what else do we got here?
Chocolate creams. No, wait a minute. They're chocolate-coated insects. Yuck!
Ew.
It's a bottle of rose petal essence.
Let's
You've
take
never
that.
wanted to smell like a rose, but...
Oh, there's my spoon, right next to the pudding cup. Anyways,
These vials contain small quantities of hair, all in different colors. That's odd. They're all labeled Gwydion.
Gwydion, do you, like, dye your hair a lot? I wouldn't think you'd be able to afford that being a slave and all, and, you know, I'm sure Manana would not help you with that. So why are there vials with the name Gwydion on there? Does he just have a fetish for people named Gwydion? I mean, you hear of, like, fangirls taking hair of their celebrities and like orgasming over it, but we're done here.
Of interest. There's
So we want to close the drawer. And let's head back downstairs. Oh shit, I forgot to close that drawer. Don't want to do that. Always listen to what I say. Don't do what I do. So, let me close that. Let's go back downstairs to the study. And actually, probably when Mananan comes back in, I believe it's 15 minutes, we will probably go up to the telescope to see what you can see through that. But if it is 15 minutes, I'll probably be ending the video there. I'm not going to show you the fourth drawer right now. I'll do it later. But so we have all these blue colored things. We had put the fly wings away. This key will open the safe. And inside the safe
cabinet using the brass key.
There is.
It's the wizard's magic wand.
We want to take that.
You find the wizard's magic wand. You take it with you, knowing it could mean death if he finds it missing.
Not could, would. That is the one item you want to return to its place before he returns.
Scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Black, the Ultimate Fashion Statement.
Well, that explains the
You scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Secretly Secluding Servants for a Lifetime of Service and Servitude.
sounds oddly
You scan
unnecessary.
the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled 1001 Unlikely Uses for Cheese.
That does refer to something later in King's
Scan
Quest.
the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Ancient Wisdom, The Legacy of Our Forebears. It seems to be a record of all known information regarding the original inhabitants of the known world. It is a notably thin book. You scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Wither the Weather or Wedding the World, an anthology of meteorological spells.
I'm not just doing this to see all the
Scan
things
the
it
bookshelf
says.
for interesting titles and find a book entitled Lifestyles of the Weird and Wicked.
There is something
Scan
we're
the
looking
bookshelf
for.
for interesting titles and find a book entitled Guide to Maintaining a Healthy Beard.
Of course, I could be wrong. I may have to do
You
something
scan
else.
the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a series of magazines entitled Wizarding Weekly. This week's edition includes tips on keeping your hat pointy. You scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Levers and Bookcases, a Traditional Connection.
That seems oddly prophetic.
You scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Telescopes and Other Spying Devices.
Okay, apparently I don't remember how to do what we need to,
The
but
desk is made from oak. The wizard does all his reading, writing, and arithmetic here.
oh, how do we do this?
The wizard's waistband.
Maybe we click on these papers, or he'll open the drawer again. We'll see. Open the drawer again.
Aren't you?
Yes, I am. So let's look at the books again.
Scan the bookshelf for interesting titles and find a book entitled Mystical Misconceptions.
Since we're still finding new things, I'm just curious. Oh, look, we found something interesting. It zoomed in, so that must mean something. Oh. There seem to be levers here. Levers. I will probably pronounce it either way, so please forgive me. I don't exactly remember what the order is. I know it's somewhere in the game, but we'll have to look at that. We'll have to come back to this again later. So let's close this. And I'm pretty sure that was my computer lagging there. And since we're all done, we're going to finally go screw you, Mananan, like I said earlier. And of course, because this is a winding road, as you saw before when I tried to leave, that we can die here. So we're just going to save. something else we want in the house. I know there is. I'm just trying to remember where it is. This may be a video of me just trying to search for the stuff I know exists in Manannan's house. Or the stuff I think I know exists in Manannan's house. Oh, I know where it's at. We're going back to his room again. Just be glad it's not pink anymore. I think actually both the item I'm looking for and the answer to that puzzle that we found are here. Good thing Manannan's cat can't talk. Talking cats are always bad, right?
Search the linen gown. You don't find anything interesting. You don't look good wearing peaked hats. You search behind the clothes hanging in the wizard's closet. You're startled to discover an ancient parchment scroll. Its ink has faded, but it seems to be a map. Taking this treasure, you leave everything else exactly as it was.
So that is, as it said, a map. And we'll look at that real quick.
The magic map's ink has faded away. So far, it isn't much help.
Okay, so right now it doesn't do much. And get out of the hell out of the way, cat. I'm probably confusing my own cats. Like, why are you being mean to me? You know, most people always have a tendency to say the animal's species instead of their name, unless you're like, I know, at least that's how I've always seen it growing up. My mom's always yelled at the dog, like, dog! And then I yell at my cats, like, cat! I don't know if that's too uncommon, but yeah, winding path, not our friend. We are not Gwydion's friend. And this is the bottom of the hill in a moment. I believe you can fall from this height, but it won't kill you, but I'm not going to take the risk since I'm all the way here. Actually, I'll take the risk here. No, I won't, because it won't let me. It might not let you just up that edge either. And so, oh, as you see, the time just turned yellow. So that means that Manannan will be returning soon. Once it turns red, we'll actually head back. Oh, look, a quaint little cottage.
Beautiful garden, you think. The residents must take great care of it. Dew has formed on the petals from the night before.
Oh, let's see if anyone's home.
Scram!
What? Okay, fine. I don't want to talk to you anyways, asshole. Well, what's over this way? A beach. Oh, there's a town up here. Kind of like in King's Quest 2, except this town was originally in the in the original version of the game. So we have a general store, a tavern. It's not much point in going in either one right now. Tavern, you can buy stuff later because you will get library. What? As you see,
It's boarded up. There's a note pinned up beside it. Whoever boarded it up did an admirable job. You can read, but that won't.
Let's read the note.
The note says, due to a decline in literate members, this library is closed indefinitely.
Remember, everyone, libraries are your friend. You should go to them. And for the most part, they're free. Just don't be late. And even now, you can rent DVDs and such from them. But that's my public service announcement for the day. I used to work in a library, for those that didn't know. Let's see if we can get in.
Despite the fact that the window is ajar, it will not open wide enough to allow entry. There's a small brass latch on the inside, which your fingertips cannot quite reach.
Okay, so we need something to do that later. I don't think we have anything right now. We can try the wand.
You slide the thin wand through the gap and easily flip the latch.
I actually didn't think that would work. Let's go into the library.
Wow, look at all these ancient books. It's a veritable gold mine of information. I can't believe it. Woohoo! This place is perfect.
So obviously, since we got points, there must be something. Oh,
You'll
there's
have
a door
to stop
open.
breathing if you start brushing dust off.
I didn't want to
The
brush dust
library
off.
is dark, and you squint through the still and musty air.
Hmm.
This book
Oh.
has been left more recently, as in the last 20 years.
Can we read it? Oh, it's a blue book. What does this do?
The book from the library looks similar to the books that line the shelves of Manannan's study.
Really? Today I stepped off Manannan's mountain for the first time, though he would kill me without hesitation if he knew my only regret is that I waited so long. I have learned this day alone, the townspeople are not the wretched creatures that I've been led to believe. Only the outcast ruffians are to be avoided. They all fear my master and have spent their lives in the coldness of his shadow. This book, which I happened upon by a stream, shall be a record of my discoveries. They may prove vital, for as I approach my 18th year, I feel an ever-growing dread. My wizard has ill plans for me. Seems that my fears were warranted. Manannan keeps a near constant eye on me nowadays. I feel like a field mouse under an owl's gaze. But for all my master's vigilance, I have managed to collect things. Corks, forks, oddly shaped stones, anything I dare call my own. My quarters are their keep and will remain so while I live under the roof. In the meantime, I look forward to my next excursion. Pardon me. I promised that barmaid I would pay another visit. Day 4, 2 hours. That's how long the wizard had me hanging from the kitchen rafters, and only because I missed the smallest spot in my sweeping. That stupid cat, it waited till I finished before tramping ash from the fireplace. I have to get away, if only to save myself from further headaches and humiliations. Told you that cat was an asshole. My brief outings are risky but no less regular. Each day rewards me with greater insight. Today was the most fascinating. I have seen my first ship. For too long I stood on the pier in awe of its massive mast and mainsails. The sailors directed me to the tavern where I made their captain's acquaintance. This old salt keenly related his tales of treasure and pirates, and when asked if I might join his crew, he proceeded to test my nautical knowledge. My answers must not have impressed him, for he said that I was too old to be a cabin boy. I left disappointed, yet hopeful that I may yet meet a seafarer willing to enlist a novice. A week remains before I come of age. I shall expect no better treatment from Manannan then, nor do I dare hope that freedom will accompany my adulthood. If I am to enjoy a semblance of this life, then I know what I must do. I spent the last 2 days in town, cleaning practically everything I could find, so as to earn enough to pay my way aboard that vessel. This is my only chance. Manannan does not often take such long journeys, and it is my every intention to be gone by the time he returns. Day 11. I rose early this morning and packed my few belongings. I'd barely slept. It was a dangerous ascent in the pre-dawn haze. By the time I reached the base of the mountain, I was smiling more broadly than I'd thought possible. This lasted about 30 paces, after which I don't remember anything for some time. The lump on my head, along with what was missing possessions, suggests I was attacked by the band of lawless mongrels. It was well past noon when I staggered off onto the pier. The ruffians must have dealt me a fair blow because it took me several minutes to realize I no longer had any money and several more to notice that the ship had sailed. Manannan returned late in the evening demanding supper. It's fortunate that he pays little attention to my appearance, with a pear-sized bulge up top and eyes redder than embers. I must have looked a sight. Day 12. What is it they say about clouds and linings? I don't know, but I found something today which lifted my spirits. While dusting Manannan's study, I noticed that a few of the books were attached to the shelves and made a curious sound when moved. After fiddling with them for a time, I was surprised to see a trapdoor open in the floor. How I'd managed to miss that all these years, I'll never know. Unfortunately, the noise had awoken Manannan, and I have had no choice but to leave this secret unexplored for now. This is what I was looking for when we were in that room. So probably after I end this video, which will be when we get back to the house, when Manannan returns, I will try to write this down and so I don't have to look back in here again to get the password. Day 13. I waited for Manannan to resume his usual spying on the townsfolk before returning to the study. Descending through the trapdoor, I found myself in the master's workroom, his den of dark design. Certain spells could assist me once the necessary ingredients were found. I headed for the staircase. On a floor lay a scrap of paper. I picked it up and beheld my doom. Written over and over down one side was a list of names. My name. Each dated 18 years apart. I have little time. Day 15. It's nearing dawn and I've no more need of sleep. Despite a day and night spent scouring Ludor, which is the name of the country we're in, one vital ingredient has eluded me, the mandrake root. If it exists, then it is not my destiny to find it, nor to escape. The key to my freedom I will hide in a remote part of Ludor. Today is this Gwydian's 18th birthday. I can only hope the next will have a better one, for that is all I feel as I go to see my master one final time.
The rest of the pages are blank.
Well, there's a lot of exposition in this book, which is surprising for my first video for a playthrough. I actually completely had forgotten about this book, as you probably noticed when I was trying to find the password in Manannan's room. But he said that there's a list of names, and they're all his name. And the author of this diary is Gwydian, which is our name. And apparently they're 18 years apart in name. And this is his 18th birthday, and it's his final entry. What the hell could that mean? I mean, is he going to do something to us on our 18th birthday, or does he not like this guy's writing? I mean, this book was put here within the last 20 years, so I mean, theoretically it could be ours, but I don't think we would necessarily have it here. But let's leave the book and let's climb the ladder to go back out. And I know this video is going to be a bit longer than usual, but my plan for this until a certain time in the game comes
It's peaceful here. Don't spoil it.
is to try to return to just keep the pauses between the time Manannan's home and the time that he's leaving. So, or I should say, when he comes back is when I plan to end the video each time. So, any of these pauses that happen, I'm sorry, but it'll just make the video a little longer. So, okay, we still have a little bit of time, so let's go up this way. Oh, look, there's a nice little stream here.
A beautiful stream ripples through these stately trees.
And what's this, a
You see a
spider?
cave and a hill to the north.
Huh. I seem to remember a spider cave spider web covered cave in the introduction. Let's look at it.
You inspect the entrance of the cave, but see nothing but darkness beyond.
How can we look at the spider's nest
The
specifically?
largest web you've ever seen. You shudder to think of what spun it.
Well, you know, I think that whoever was in this cave just used it as a magical safeguard. So why don't we just take a look and maybe we can find that person.
The only way in is through.
Okay, we'll walk through it. Oh, that's a big spider. Get away, Gwydian. Ooh.
It was to be expected that a spider of this size wouldn't just live off flies.
Yeah, probably. So, let's restore. And sorry, as I said before, dying will probably give us a couple more minutes in video. But we're just exploring right now. Nothing much. Ooh.
A waterfall cascades from the snowless mountain, evidence that Manannan occasionally has good moods.
Really? That seems odd. Yeah, let's see. We're out. Oh, As you can see, the timer turned red. So let's... Okay, there's one thing we looked at earlier, and there wasn't much to
The
it.
magic
So
map's faded ink has brightened in certain spots, depicting locations in Ludor.
well,
You pull
let's
out
click it.
your magic map.
As you can see, there's a little map here. There's a town, the cave we were just at, the house that we got told to go away from, and Manannan's house. So what we're going to do is see what happens when we click. Gwydion feels a strange pulling sensation.
You feel a strange pulling sensation.
Oh. Huh. And as you can see, we're near the bottom of the mountain. So let's go back up real quickly. I think I'm cutting it really close here if I make it. But don't fall off, don't fall off, I didn't save. Okay, we're back at home. We need to get to our room before he comes back. And luckily that's not too far of a walk right now, but time is marching on. And he's back. Shit.
My magic wand is missing. You will pay for your insolence.
The wizard keeps close dibs on his wand. Don't let him find it missing next time.
Okay, well, since I died, and I promised I would end it around the mark of when he returned, since he returned, I will just quickly play back through to get home in time, and probably start off right back here in the next video. So I will catch you next time. See ya.